Alrighty, hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here for a big Q&A video. So I'm just going to be doing a whole bunch of Q&A. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get caught up on a lot of the questions that have been asked during that period when I wasn't on. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be doing a lot of question and answering. And I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. There are some that I've probably answered via text, like actually typing in an actual response. And I might answer them here. It just depends. So we'll see. Again, all these are going to be from YouTube. These are not going to be Twitter or Facebook questions. These are all going to be YouTube. And in no particular order am I going to be doing these. So, first one we have from Anthony J. I'm going to try your last name. Fletchman? Fletchman Jr. If that's not it, I am so sorry, but that was my attempt. Anyway, Anthony says, congratulations on completing your studio. Glad you were able to deal with those pesky low frequencies. So what is next on your voiceover journey? I'd like to see you try something that you haven't tried before in voiceover and video your experience. Maybe an audiobook? There's no growth without pain, LOL. Thanks again for the video, man. Okay, so as far as like stuff that I haven't tried yet, there's a lot of areas that I haven't tried. I'll probably be getting back into commercial voiceover. The reason that I took a hiatus was because I was getting a lot of character, video game, and cartoon and animation work. And then I was also getting every now and then some commercial work, and the commercial work was incredibly stressful. And due to the fact that I was already getting stressed out having to do a lot of these character and animation work clients, there was no reason for me to even tackle the commercial stuff, the commercial narration. So that's why I put that off. As far as audiobook, I could probably get back into that. The problem that I have with audiobook is that it takes such a large chunk of my day, a large section of my day, mostly because I do have issues with dyslexia, and trying to do projects that large, it increases the chance that I've made mistakes along the way. And then it increases the number of revisions that I'll have to do and number of fixes and changes. And that's why I try to stay away from audiobook. But I probably could try audiobook, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. More than anything, I need to try to get a voiceover agent. That's the next thing that I'm trying to do. So, but maybe. I'll definitely look into that, but maybe. All right, so next question is from Save the Fails, and this is on the exact same video. This is a comment left on the same video. Save the Fails, I think that's it. Save the Fails says, nice work on the studio. Any chance you could talk a bit about your audio setup? I don't know what he means by that. I'm guessing everything that's chained in from mic to preamp to computer. I'm guessing that's what he means. I will do a video on that, but it's really not all that interesting. It's really actually pretty boring. I mean, most other voice actors that have like studios have, they have a chain system. So the mic goes into the preamp, and then goes into like a compressor, and then goes into an interface, and then that goes into, some kind of converter box, and then that goes in the computer. I'm not a fan of those kinds of setups. I'm not a fan of that big daisy chain Rube Goldberg of audio. I would rather have a very simple setup with very few things to convert stuff through. Also, I don't need that kind of level of like a compression system. Maybe later on if I actually upgrade to an actual studio rather than just a closet, and then I can actually hire someone to help come in and help me set it up right, maybe. But as of right now, basically it's microphone, and then that goes directly into my Yamaha MG10XU, which is a USB mixer interface. And so the USB goes immediately into the computer, and so it just goes mic, mixer, computer. That's it. There's nothing between them. Maybe later on when I understand a little bit more how to do that, because I think I tried doing something like that back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like 4 years ago. And it didn't turn out right. I was getting all kinds of noise. I couldn't get the settings right. There were so many things to try to keep track of. So as of right now, my setup is incredibly simple, and I'm not looking into getting some kind of multi-chain system as of right now. Continuing with the text, do you have it set up for phone patch or some other way that you can get that you can be directed? I don't have any kind of like phone patch system, mostly because that is incredibly expensive to have like an actual phone patch, an actual like analog phone patch kind of thing. I do use Source Connect, also IPDiddle, as a lot of voice actors have called it, which is IPDTL, I think, which can work with Source Connect and can work with other phone patch systems, which those kind, even though they're like browser based or web based, those are incredibly effective. As long as you have good internet, they can very, very low latency. So those are incredibly successful. Most clients, however, that I've worked with on my level of clientele, they just prefer Skype. They just prefer Skype if they do want to do any kind of directing. Now, I very rarely work with anyone who wants to do directing. Most of the time when I work with someone who wants to do like live directing, it's normally someone who has never really done this before, and they're just thinking that they need to direct me because they think that's how it's supposed to be done. A lot of the more professional clients that I have, they send me the script with instructions. I record what I have. Well, I've probably talked to them ahead of time. If it's like clients that I communicate through Gmail, we will Skype. We'll do a meeting. We'll do a Skype meeting. They'll get to know me. I'll kind of give them my interpretation of the voice or the character. They will fill in the blanks wherever it needs to be. This is also long after I've already done like an audition and something like that. And then we'll talk about the project. They'll send me the scripts. I'll record it on my time. Also, this is probably because the clients that I have on that kind of basis are overseas, and so our hours are different. Basically impossible for us to find time that works for both of us. And then I'll record it. I'll send it to them. If they need a revision, they'll ask for a revision, and I send it in. Normally, very rarely do they need a revision. A lot of the times, we already communicate what kind of voice and what kind of character we want ahead of time, and I give them multiple takes so they have something to choose from. They choose the best take, and if there's something wrong with that best take, like a word off or something like that, then they'll ask for a revision, and I'll basically do a revision based on the take that they liked. That's basically what I do. So normally I don't do phone patch or live directing, but if I do, there are web-based systems that I use. So, all right, so this next comment is from Adam Hatcher. I'm going to say Adam Hatcher. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be Hatcher, but if it's wrong, again, I apologize. So Adam Hatcher says, would using noise suppression program? Okay. Noise cancellation, noise suppression, plugins for your DAW work just as well as treating your window. Now, this is one that I've actually already responded to. I try to respond to as many of the questions and texts as possible, especially if it's a question. And so this was one. This is basically what I said. When it comes to cancellation, noise cancellation programs or plugins, normally what they do, there's two kinds. There's ones that are more of a noise gate, meaning when you're speaking, when there is audio above a certain threshold, above a certain dP, it'll let that in. It'll let it'll let the voice in. But when it's below a certain threshold, which is basically quiet breaths or, just the room tone, it'll basically turn off the audio and basically go silent. So that's a noise gate. And so that's what most programs basically do. There are other ones that are more like an EQ or a compression that are specifically designed to look for very, very small frequencies. So like in Audacity has a noise cleanup, which basically what it does is you select the noise or what you consider the noise. It memorizes the frequencies and, how low and quiet they are, and then it looks throughout the rest of the audio and tries to EQ that out. It tries to fine-tune out those frequencies out. So if you had like a low rumble or some kind of low whining sound, it would try to match that, try to figure out what that is, and then go through the rest of the audio and try to tune that out. So those are the two kinds. It's better to actually treat the space rather than try to do damage control later on. Most clients, professional clients that you'll work with that are going to pay you well, most of them are going to want you to send in the audio with no treatment done at all. None whatsoever. They want you to just record it and send it to them, and they'll do everything on their end. So you want to get to a point. Your goal is to get to a point where you can record audio that needs no treatment, that needs no editing afterwards. So, it just goes into the mic, you record it, and you send it. That's your goal. Now, there are a lot of clients that you're going to work with that are going to want you to do some post-processing on your end, especially if it's like, if you're working with Fiverr or you're working with, what's the other one, like Upwork or something like that, where you're working with a lot of independent people who don't really know how to do audio and would very much benefit from your experience in audio and audio editing, which when it comes to like Cartoon Hooligans, for example, when they started out, they didn't really know all that much about audio. I think they have someone on their team that actually does that kind of stuff. But when they first started out, I was doing all of the EQ, compression, noise cleanup, debreathing and pitch change and adding effects on my end, and then sending it to them, and then setting it at the volume basically that they needed. But then now I can pretty much just send it, and then they can do whatever they want on their end. So if you're working with a more independent client, they may want you to do more stuff like that on your end. But as you move up and get to more professional clients, they just want the raw thing sent to them. Nothing done in post. Just send it to them. Because if you've already done editing to it, including cancellation and EQing and stuff like that, if you've already done that and then they try to do something like that later on, it could make the voice that you recorded sound even worse. So your goal is to have a good studio that you can just record clean audio and send it as is. Now, if you're in a situation that, you can't treat it all that well and you're still getting a lot of noise, maybe consider a different microphone, or consider recording with the back of the microphone in a different location, or just put up more blankets, cover yourself. There's tons of stuff that you can do to actually get rid of noise so you don't have to do any kind of post-editing noise and that kind of stuff. So that's your goal. That's what you should do. Let's see. What else we got? Okay, so there's a couple comments that are similar, and I'm going to kind of mush them together. But one of them comes from Michael Williams. The hell was it? Michael Williams. And he says, Fiverr is great. So this was talking about how to use broadcast rights on Fiverr. That was the video. Fiverr is great. I make a FT income. I'm going to say freak ton, I guess, on Fiverr. Voiceover work. Good for you. Good for you. Ooh, excuse me. I really want to find out how to join their pro verified sellers. That's not really a question, but it's very similar to another question where someone was asking, I don't remember where that one was, but I think it was on a similar video where someone was asking, how do you move up to like top rated seller? And I assume that pro verified seller is very similar. I think it's very similar. I think there are different requirements for being verified, a verified seller, or the more pro bracket of Fiverr rather than just top seller. But the idea is very, very similar. So everything up to the point of top rated seller is automated. It's all automated. Once you hit a certain tier or a certain bracket, or you've checked certain things off your checklist or off your box, then you automatically get bumped up to those positions. However, when it comes to top-rated seller, those are manually picked by Fiverr and by their staff, which I actually don't like because I have no idea what their criteria is. If it's manually chosen, what are they looking for? And they don't tell you. They just give you a list which literally just has the same requirements that you already know and you already qualify for. So I have no idea what it is they're actually like looking for. I've actually been, had everything that I needed to be a top-rated seller, for about 2 years. And every single month, it'll basically say you've been nominated, we're reviewing your profile, and then literally at the end of the month, they're like, yeah, we're going to keep you at this position. And then every month it does the exact same thing. So I have literally no idea what they're looking for in a top-rated seller. There was a couple of people who became top-rated sellers who hadn't been on Fiverr as long as I had, who weren't making nearly as much, and had lower star ratings on all of their selling stuff. And that's not to say that they didn't deserve that position. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I have no idea what Fiverr is looking for. I have no idea. But the part that sucks about that is that, about their rating system, is that if you fall out of favor in one of the criteria, you're immediately bumped down. It's not even a review. It's not even a wait till the end of the month. It's immediately demoted. So Fiverr and how they do their top-rated sellers and their pro verification, I have no idea. It's a very weird and very shitty system that they've put up, but I don't know. Talk to someone who is verified. Talk to someone who's a top-rated seller. Ask them at what their profile looked like and what they had done at the time that they got promoted. Talk to them. See if they'll give you information. I have no idea. I have no clue. All right, so that was pretty much all the questions that I could find that were voiceover related that I don't think I got to, or at least didn't answer in full. One of them I did, and so I wanted to go ahead and do those. So that was it for today. If you guys have any other questions, leave those down in the comment section below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. That's your prerogative. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and until next time, peace.